Hey, I'm Devesh, and if you own a truck or you're thinking about buying one, this channel is going to save you thousands of dollars. Every week, we break down the things dealers, automakers, and the government don't want you to know. Hidden scams, engineered failures, and the real truth behind the trucks Americans depend on. No fluff, no sponsored opinions, just straight facts that put the power back in your hands. Hit subscribe, because the next video might be the most important one you watch before your next truck purchase. There's a guy in Georgia driving a 2001 Toyota Tundra with 430,000 miles on it. Original engine, one transmission swap at 208,000 miles, nothing else. While a 2022 Ford F-150 Power Boost just received a reliability score of 7 out of 100 from Consumer Reports. 7 out of 100. That's not a typo. And Ford charged somebody $80,000 for that truck. Here's the truth the industry doesn't want printed anywhere. The most reliable trucks ever built are sitting on used car lots right now for under $15,000. Mechanics know it, actual truck owners know it, and after today, you're going to know it too. Modern trucks are engineering marvels on paper and engineering disasters in practice. They've got 10-speed transmissions with software that updates like a phone. They've got mild hybrid systems bolted onto engines that never asked for one. They've got cylinder deactivation, particulate filters, active fuel management, and enough sensors to fill a NASA control room. Every one of those systems is a ticking clock. Every one of them will fail. And when they do, you're looking at 4-figure repair bills at a dealership that's the only place in town with the proprietary software to diagnose it. An old truck doesn't care about any of that. It has a big iron engine, a simple transmission, and metal parts that outlast the people who drive them. No modules to flash. No dealer-only scan tools required. Your local mechanic can fix it with parts from the auto store and a YouTube tutorial. These are the 5 trucks from the 2000s that mechanics, the guys who actually crawl under vehicles for a living, will tell you flat out outlast anything rolling off a lot today. We're starting with the one that started the conversation. The first generation Toyota Tundra ran from 24/7 through 24/7/4. It came with a 4.7-liter I-Force V8, and from the moment Toyota shipped these trucks, they built them with a massive operating margin. The cooling system, the oil capacity, the rotating assembly bearings, all of it designed to run at continuous high load without breaking a sweat. Toyota didn't build this engine to barely survive. They built it to keep going long after the warranty became a memory. The results speak for themselves. That 4,747-mile truck in Georgia, first-gen Tundra. There are documented examples of these trucks crossing 74.7 miles. One owner reported 274.7 miles and described it as running like new, still on the original internals. Nothing more than regular oil changes. These aren't flukes. This is what happens when an engine is engineered with actual headroom, instead of engineered to barely clear the warranty period. Now here's what makes the first gen special compared to the second and third generation. Simplicity, no turbocharger. No hybrid system. No cylinder deactivation trying to run a V8 like a V4 to squeeze out 1 extra mile per gallon on an EPA test. Just a naturally aspirated V8 that wants to run. What to watch for? The early 24.471 models are the simpler builds, while the 24.745 to 24.76 upgrades brought a few refinements. Rust is your real enemy on these. Check the frame, check the rockers, check underneath before you hand over any money. A clean-framed first-gen Tundra with 24.747 miles is a better investment than most new trucks at $65,477. What does one cost right now? You'll find first-gen Tundras ranging from about $8,477 to $21,477 depending on condition and mileage. For $12,474 to $15,477, you can get a solid example with documented maintenance history. That's not a used truck purchase. That's a value play. The second truck on this list is one that gets underestimated constantly, and that's exactly why smart buyers keep finding deals on it. The 24.7473 Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra with a 5.3-liter Vortec V8. This engine is one of the most produced, most proven V8s in American automotive history. It's a pushrod motor, no dual overhead cams, no variable valve timing adding complexity. Just a classic small block architecture that responds to basic maintenance with years of faithful service. Mechanics love this engine because they understand it. Parts are everywhere. The labor time is short. And when something does go wrong, it's usually a known, affordable fix. We're not talking proprietary software issues. We're talking about a crankshaft sensor or an intake gasket that any competent shop can swap out in an afternoon. World longevity on these trucks is consistent. A properly maintained 5.3473 to 5.3477 Silverado, with the 5.3 crossing 34.77 miles is not a story, it's a pattern. Forum after forum, mechanic after mechanic, the same data, oil changes on schedule. Watch the oil pickup tube O-ring that can get brittle over time, and this engine run. Now here's the critical thing you need to know before you buy one. Avoid the 5.34.7 trucks with active fuel management. That's the cylinder deactivation system GM started adding. and it is the source of lifter failures that can cost thousands. The pre-AFM 5.3-liter trucks 5.5473 through early 5.47477 don't have that system. Those are the ones you want. Simple iron engine. No deactivation gimmicks. A 5.53475 to 5.4476 Silverado 5.55477 in good shape runs anywhere from $4.7447 to $4.747 on the current market. A 5.534.7 with low miles might push 5.55. You are getting a truck that your mechanic can fix anywhere in America, with parts that cost a fraction of what a modern GM sensor costs alone. And speaking of trucks that prove a point, wait until you hear what one Ram owner put on the odometer. The 5.535.775.75 Dodge Ram 5.53557 with the 5.7-liter Hemi is one of the most undervalued trucks in the American used market right now. People write off Dodge. They repeat stories from the 5.53997s about unreliable products and skip right past what is, by any objective measure, an excellent engine. The 5.7 Hemi is a big, naturally aspirated V8 with no turbos, no hybrid 7-cyst, no cylinder deactivation. At least not in the 5.7 through 5.756 models, before the multi-displacement system arrived. The early Hemi is uncomplicated iron that wants to pull, wants to tow, and wants to run. Owners with well-maintained examples regularly report 5.75, 735, 777 to 5.735 to 5.77, a 5.575, 733, 775, Addy Dal 53, 7755, 735, 77 Hemi. Ram 5.73 being a front 7 miles on the only major work being a front suspension rebuild at 5.5 miles 5 and 7 read scene 5.7 miles. And then there's the truck that crossed 1 million miles on the original Hemi. 1 million miles. Here's what you need to know before you shop. The early 5.57, 35, 77, 5.75, 775, 75 and models had valve spraying 7.7 that Chrysler corrected in 5.7, 5.7. If you buy a 5.75, 735, 3 to 5.7775, 6 have a Max Samus valve springs have been updated. The other thing to budget for is the Hemi tick. The exhaust manifold warps over time and develops a ticking noise. It sounds catastrophic. It's not. A competent local mechanic fixes it for around $75-$7. The dealer wants $5.757377 for the same job. Don't go to the dealer. Avoid the later torque Hemi in modern Rams. That's the 5.757357775 not hybrid version, and it adds a motor generator unit that fails and costs a fortune to replace. The old Hemi pre-torque, pre-MDS if you can find it, is the one with the legendary reputation. Current market, 5.575575 to 5.5 to 5.757 and $1,000 to 5.75 with the Hemi. Runs $7.5757, depending on mileage and condition. A clean 5.75, 735, 777 and 7 or 5.75, 77758 can approach $5.777. Given the engine's track record, that's not expensive. That's cheap for what you're getting. Now we need to talk about the truck that mechanics argue about more than any other, because it has the worst reputation on paper and the best numbers in practice when you buy the right years. The Ford F-55545 $35,055. Insurance City $9 and you paid $1,000 with the 5.4-liter Triton, asking $1,000 to be. And it deserves to be. Let's be direct. The 5.55554 model year 5.4 has documented problems. Cam phasers, timing chain guides that wear prematurely, spark plugs that carbon weld into the cylinder head so badly that pulling them destroys the threads. These are real issues that affected tens of thousands of trucks, and if you buy a high mileage $5, you're rolling dice. But here's the thing nobody talks about. The 5.5454, the $5,000 at $59,000. The 4 report toxin for it. Trucks with the 5 plug 545 type 4 stories where the spark plugs have already been replaced with a updated 2-piece design are a different story. Owners who maintain these trucks properly report crossing 554, 55, 35 without major engine work. The bones of the 5.4 are solid. It's a big torquey V5.4 that moves a full-size truck with authority. The problems were largely maintenance-related and design issues that get addressed over time on any truck that's been properly cared for. What you're buying with a later gen 554, 53, 5554, 5555, 5554 is the most available used full-size truck in America. Parts, Every mechanic in the country has touched one. Labor is cheap because everyone knows the job. An F554455430 from this era were built tough, heavy steel, solid construction. No aluminum body panels crumpling at parking lot speeds like the newer trucks. The intel from mechanics: get a pre-purchase inspection. Have the timing chain checked. Verify the spark plugs have been done. If those boxes are checked, a 555 $5 54 with the 55 SI5 is a legitimate mile truck that won't hold you hostage at a dealership. Market price: 555 worth of $60,000. The 554543554 models with lower miles push toward the top of that range, worth every dollar when the alternative is financing a 5545555 $30,000 $59,000. 4F55 F55 and praying the transmission holds together past the warranty. And now the last truck on this list, the one that might be the single best used truck purchase in America right now, bar none. The Toyota Tacoma from 55545 $59,000. 45455445544 Titane's 50 models is in a category by itself when we talk about long-term reliability and real-world longevity. The 555455435 in these trucks produces 5544 horsepower and around 55454 pound-feet, and it runs and runs. Tacomas with 555455435 $15,000 4 miles listed for sale are not rare finds. They are routine. People see 5544 miles on a Tacoma and think it still has a full second life ahead of it. They're usually right. The mechanical simplicity here is the story. Traditional V5.4, speed automatic or a manual option. No mild hybrid system. No active fuel management. No turbos. No particulate filter requiring regeneration cycles. The drivetrain on a 55545 5435 and that's dollars and dollars. 6 days. Tacoma is built on a philosophy that prioritizes longevity over EPA window sticker numbers. Toyota did not sacrifice long-term durability to gain 2 miles per gallon. The result is a truck that has more documented 555, 545, 5545, 54,000 mile examples than nearly any other American market vehicle. Now, and this is important, the 554, 5554 5 years. Now, Tacomas have a documented frame rust issue. Toyota traced it to inadequate frame coating on approximately 545, 545,000 5-corner trucks, 5 trucks, which it resulted in a $554.3 billion auction settlement. Toyota agreed to replace frames or buy back affected trucks, but the settlement window is mostly closed now. If you're buying a 5.545 4435 Aslins, you ain't asking 1,005 volts Tacoma, especially one from a northern or coastal state where road salt is used. Get the frame inspected by a mechanic before you hand over any money. Not a casual look, a proper inspection on a lift. The 5545543 and later second generation Tacomas largely corrected the corrosion issue. Those trucks are safer bets and still carry the same legendary powertrain. What mechanics say consistently, the Tacoma is the one truck that I'd buy for a kid who knows nothing about maintenance. Because even when maintenance gets neglected, these trucks keep running. That's the ultimate endorsement. Price right now, 55 in decent maintained thousands. Tacoma C. The $559,000, $55, $30,000, you $50,000, East $1,000, East $1,000, 5-year kit. Used $9,000 truck, which are worth seeking out specifically. Run 5555555 over 5 scene $5 3 to $5 5 face teen fay 2 fine dies $5 they 5 for sutu 454545545. Yes, they hold value better than any truck on this list. That's not a bug. That's proof of what the market already knows. When something is genuinely reliable, people pay for it. Here's what ties all 5 of these trucks together. None of them need a dealer to fix them. None of them require proprietary diagnostic software to read a fault code. None of them have mild hybrid systems adding layers of failure points onto an engine that ran perfectly fine without one. You can take any of these trucks to an independent mechanic, buy parts at a standard parts store, and keep them running for fine kive what it costs to maintain a 5545545 truck past its warranty. Modern trucks are built for the financing era. They're loaded with technology that sounds impressive on a spec sheet and breaks on a schedule that puts you back in the service department every 5.4, 35.4 months. The F5545455I54455I5I45I4 Power Boost. Consumer Reports lowest rated vehicle 3 years running. The RAM a torque documented $4. Repair bills when they fail out of warranty. Aluminum body on hauls that cost $5,543,555,4,000 to replace after a minor fender bender. This is not progress. This is planned obsolescence with a lifted suspension and a towing package. The 5 trucks on this list exist outside that system. They were built when automakers still competed on actual durability. When a 554-35-545-45 $16,000 engine was a point of pride instead of an accident. So here's what I want you to think about. If you had to pick one truck off this list to buy right now, which one would it be? Drop it in the comments. First Gen Tundra, the Vortex Silverado, the early Hemi Ram, the 55455455555. Tell me which one you'd bet your money on and why. The conversation down there is always better than anything I put in the video. If this opened your eyes to what the industry has been hiding from truck buyers, hit that like button and share it with someone who's about to finance a brand new truck and thinks they're making a smart decision. They need to watch this first. Subscribe if you haven't already, because next week we're pulling back the curtain on something that every truck owner with a modern diesel needs to hear, and the dealerships are absolutely counting on you not finding out. The money is sitting in the used market. The knowledge is right here. Now you just have to use it.